Oh, man.
Old Man on the Mat crew, this is Tony Jones coming at you another great episode of Old Man on the Mat. Guys, I'm fired up. I say it every time. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm fired up about life. One day closer to freedom or the grave. I don't know how you look at it, man, but I just had a birthday yesterday. I'm excited. As I was telling my buddy here, I'm 29. I'm 29, guys. But, guys, once again, thank you for all the support, the likes. I encourage you guys to hit us up on YouTube. We just started shooting that platform out, so go ahead and give us a subscription there. But guys, I thank you all the great feedback. But I am so excited to have this guy over here. This guy is a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. More importantly, he's a United States Marine Corps vet. He served some time. He's done what he's done for his country, and I appreciate you guys for what you do. But with that, guys, I'm gonna give you guys Daniel Nunez. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. And again, I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, anytime,
what a
man.
blessing it is, honestly. Just how people can come together through jiu-jitsu, honestly. And
Oh, absolutely.
thank you again. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, you're more than welcome, man. I'll tell you, man. I started this journey as I've been divorced for I think it was 5 years now, and I started doing all these little clips. It's gonna be my journey. How you see most ladies, when they
Yeah.
break up with somebody, they're like, new me, new year, all this other stuff. But I was just like, I'm gonna do my journey and all this other stuff. But more I put out, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start a podcast talking to older guys, and when I say older, anybody over 20. You know what I mean? Out there trying to do things. And, I got this platform going, Old Man on the Mat, and I got a chance to talk to some great people. And, with you guys, and I was telling you earlier, I've been talking to a lot of Marine vets and military guys. And I'm not in the military, never was, but I appreciate what you guys do. And I mean that. I don't say that lightly.
I appreciate it.
I
Yep.
couldn't step out there and take a bullet for somebody I don't know. You know what I mean? And that's what you guys do. But don't get me choked up. I'm a patriotic guy. I get all whiny in the eyes. But anyway,
Ah,
man.
man, it's awesome. I appreciate it.
But how is out there in Melbourne, man? Man, I'm jealous. Is it really hot? I love heat, man.
Oh yeah, it's about 95 degrees, maybe 100 heat index right now. So
Oh, that's
that's what I
heaven,
was telling you
brother.
right before we started that,
Yeah.
we're in the garage, but we have AC in here because can't be doing no garage jiu-jitsu with the door open in Florida at this time of year, man.
And plus, alligators might roll in. I don't know how that
Yeah,
works.
yeah, yeah, we got these big birds out here that they're about 5 feet tall. They'll come in here, the sand
Holy
cranes.
cow, man.
So, no,
Well,
it's a
man.
good time though here. Florida's nice. I'm originally from Miami, Florida.
Oh, well, you're still in Florida,
Um,
brother. What are you talking about?
yeah, yeah. But I'm originally from Miami. Hey, if any of you know anybody, South Florida and the rest of Florida, completely different worlds.
Oh, is it really?
Miami, yeah, yeah. Miami-Dade County and then anything up north of West Palm, completely different.
Oh,
Right. So
man.
I was gone from Florida for like about 7 years because I was in
Okay.
the Marine Corps. So
Yeah.
when I medically retired back in 2023, I didn't want to go back to Miami. I have two daughters now
Awesome,
and a
man.
wife, and it's living down there is it's kind of expensive and just not the lifestyle I want to be around.
I get you. I get you.
So I had family move up to Melbourne, Space Coast, and
Space Coast, you called it?
yeah, well, it's called the Space Coast. The whole pretty much all of Brevard County on
Okay.
the coast. Yeah, because you got Cape Canaveral here, NASA, SpaceX, all that stuff.
Yeah, man. Good
So you
stuff, man.
always seen the launch. You can walk out the garage and see the launches sometimes at night.
Oh man. My
So
buddy and I, we went to this was 2 years ago. It's kind of a funny story. I'm gonna be quick because I want to hear about you. Enough about me.
yeah,
But he calls me up and because I was, I've been retired for a while, so I can travel and do stuff. He calls me up the last minute. He said, "Hey, you want to shoot to Florida with me out there by Miami? I can't remember, is it somewhere out there?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "We're leaving tomorrow." I was like, "Great, man," because his fiance at the time, they had this trip planned but couldn't go. So I'm like, "Yeah, we'll run out there and do it." So we jumped on a flight, get to the resort. It was romantic, heart, the love bed and everything else. I'm like, brother, you come. He said, man, but nobody can come with me, man. So we got
yeah,
our night and we got to see the launch and all that kind of stuff wherever we were. We looked up on the
yeah,
balcony. It was really cool, man.
yeah,
But
yeah. No, no, it's definitely. I wasn't used to it, so it's definitely been pretty cool since being back. But
that's cool, man. Good
yeah,
stuff. But before we jump off here, tell me your story, man. Because I think I always say, this, guys, tell your story. Because I think people, they see these guys out there and they've done some things in your life. They always want to know. I believe. Well, I want to know how'd you guys get where you are today. Tell me your story. How did all this stuff start
yeah.
with you? The military, the whole thing.
So I always played football, right, since I was little,
Yeah.
and I played all the way through college, right? I was a 305-pound offensive lineman,
Wow.
and after playing at FIU, Florida International University,
Yeah.
I wanted to join the Marine Corps, but obviously being that heavy, I wasn't able to enlist.
Yeah.
So I found an MMA gym across the street from my campus. It's called Freestyle Fighting Academy.
Okay.
If you're ever in South Florida or Miami, I would definitely check them out. The Avalon brothers, super
Okay.
professional, super welcoming, high level stuff.
Awesome.
So I started doing MMA there for about a year and a half before I left, and I lost all the weight. Now I'm currently like 200 pounds.
Wow, that much in a year and
So
a
I,
half dropped that much?
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Wow.
I completely changed my lifestyle. I was big and athletic, because I played
Yeah.
football, but I was real big, and so I enlisted, and then as I went into the Marine Corps had its own martial arts program,
Yeah.
but it wasn't as challenging, and a lot of it was geared towards combat and using anything as a weapon, basically.
Yeah.
If I could pick
Gotcha.
up a brick and smash it over your head enough times, it turns into a weapon. But a lot of Marines do jujitsu or MMA, Muay Thai. So out in town around these bases, you have gyms,
Okay.
and a lot of older Marines own some of these gyms. So I worked for a chief warrant officer, and he had a gym, so I kind of picked it back up in 2020.
Okay.
So in 2020, I started training, and I ended up getting my blue belt under one gym. But you know, like anything, things happen in life.
Yep.
I went through a rough run-in with alcohol,
Gotcha.
and mental health issues. So, but I turned it around. I just started
That's
training,
awesome. That's
training,
awesome.
training, training. I got my wife on the mat. She's a purple belt now. And then
Wow.
my two youngest daughters as well, 5 and 3. Um, they started training. So I made it a family event,
Oh,
right? I
that's
made it a
awesome.
family thing. Fast forward, I medically retired. We moved down here. Some issues transitioning with me getting out of the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And then I said, hey, we have a home. I have a garage. Let me start something.
Yeah.
So I started something, and what I've started is not just jujitsu because we want to learn how to fight and stuff like that, or self defense, and all those things are important. But I wanted to create an environment around family, and that doesn't
Okay.
mean if you don't have kids or you don't have a husband or a wife, you can't come. But
Yeah.
everybody that comes through my door and comes into this garage is family,
That's
right? We
awesome,
we
man.
allow if you're a single parent and you have a kid to watch after, you can come here and someone's gonna hold your kid while you're getting choked out or you're choking someone on the mat,
Holy
right?
cow, that's awesome.
We start 2 years old and up. My
Okay.
wife is in charge of the toddlers class. We call it the tots class. So basically, what
That's
I wanted to
awesome,
do
man.
was create an environment for families to to get better together,
Yeah.
right? To learn something cool, to bond, because I've seen what it does for me and my
Yeah.
family, and I wanted to offer that to others.
Yeah.
And we've had some success, man. We opened in I started my business, Grapple Cove, back in June 28th of last year. So
Okay, yeah.
we're a little past a year now, and we have about 30 to 35 people here.
Holy cow.
Kids and adults.
Congratulations, man. That's huge, man. That's
Appreciate it,
good stuff,
appreciate it.
man.
And it's truly been life changing, right? Like, I love seeing adults and things like that, but what I love to see is the relationships being built.
Yeah.
People that come here and they're like, I didn't really know anybody. I just moved here, and now they have friends
Yeah.
and they have
Yeah.
family, right? Like, next weekend we're doing a Grapple Cove fun day here in the backyard, huge water slide, water
Oh,
jump house,
man.
slide action
That's
going on. So
awesome.
having all the kids and families come together, right? Again, creating
Yeah.
a positive environment for people to feed off of and get better from, right? Create relationships. That's what I'm all about, and why I kind of created Grapple Cove.
That's cool, man. Grapple Cove. I like that. What
Yes, sir.
what meaning behind that? Was there a meaning behind the name Grapple Cove or?
So obviously grapple,
Yeah, well, of course, yeah.
grapple, right? But the cove, right? If you look up the definition of a cove, it's a it's an inlet that's protected, right? Um,
Yeah.
and so and it kind of protects from the big waves out in the ocean.
Okay.
So if you look at jujitsu is kind of arming you, right?
Yeah.
Preparing you to handle life's waves, right?
Okay.
Because you're going through a mental struggle, right? And you train, it ends up, it doesn't heal you, right? I'm not
Right.
saying like, it's not professional help, but it could help you,
Oh,
right? It could help
absolutely.
you
Yeah.
lose weight physically,
Yeah.
right? If you're lonely, it could build community,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it does all these things for people in different ways. Like it helped me with sobriety and being
Okay.
a veteran, my mental health, right?
Yeah.
It helps a mom who just gave birth,
Oh,
feel good about herself, or not struggle alone with postpartum,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
and surround herself with other women in the women's classes we offer. It helps someone that was a victim of assault
yeah,
or any other type of traumatic event, overcome that.
yeah.
So that's what my meaning behind the cove meant, right? A cove
I
is an
like
inlet,
that,
right?
man.
That's protected, right? From
Yeah,
from the harsh open seas. So that's kind of my viewpoint of what jujitsu can do for you. It can help you mentally and physically
yeah.
sharpen yourself to deal with life's challenges that will come inevitably.
That's awesome. And we're done here. We can stop now. That's all we need. That is cool, man. You know what? That makes a lot of sense, man. I've been in martial arts, and everyone knows since I was 8 years old, different types of martial arts, and got higher ranks in certain arts, going up the ranks. And I found Brazilian Jiu Jitsu maybe, what was it, 6 years ago, something like that.
Okay.
And like you said, it's a helpful environment. It really is a warm environment. And when I was going through my challenges in life, with the divorce and all that, they became my family. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And come on over. We're having a Christmas dinner. We're having this. We're having that, and it just became a family. So I see what
Yep.
you mean by Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I've seen that in other arts. But I tell you, as you get older, I think I can appreciate Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu more than the other arts. In my opinion, not saying it's better than anybody else's gym or
Yeah,
whatever it
yeah.
is. It's just where I am today, and that's really really cool. Now, what is some of the hard things that you run into? The hard thing about, because you run everything out of your garage there, right?
Yes.
What's the hardest thing about running everything out of your garage and bringing people in there?
Honestly, it's the one, giving out the address is always
Yeah,
a tricky thing, right? But
yeah,
besides that, it would be, the space, right? It is a
yeah,
garage and we have it matted almost wall to wall,
yeah.
but limited space. So for example, I'm big on takedowns.
Okay, yeah,
So it's structuring classes where we can be safe but be able to push each other hard, right? So
yeah,
something like takedowns, do it in pairs, doing it in groups, really constraining like what we're working on.
yeah,
That would be one of the challenges, and then obviously, like we talked about at the beginning of the episode, the heat.
yeah, yeah,
Making sure the AC is running right. The little fans we got to circulate the air, right? Keeping
yeah,
it nice and ventilated in here without exposing us to the outside elements of
yeah,
the heat or rain that Florida brings
yeah.
so much of. So
That's awesome, man. But it can be, running something at your home, and you run it with your wife. I
yep.
had a gym for 10 years in Kodokan Jiu Jitsu, did that for 10 years, my own gym and everything, had it with the wife. That's a hard thing to do with your spouse, man. It really is. How do you handle that relationship? Okay, on the mat, I'm going to be this way, or we're going to be this way. After mat, you're still, let's go hold hands and, skip through the park, whatever you guys do, you know.
Yeah, my wife has been extremely supportive, and I thank her so much because, again, she does a lot of the little kids classes,
Okay.
and she is amazing with them, right? But to run it out of the home and run a business like you said, like you've done in the past with your wife, I feel like it just takes open communication, right?
Yeah.
Both parties dropping an ego,
Mm,
right? Of me and my wife both dropping our like defense mechanisms, and how
yeah.
can we make this better? Because ultimately, if this is going good, or if our marriage is going good, this is going good. If this is
Right.
going good, like other things are going good, right? So
Yeah.
it's like we're just feeding positivity to each other,
Gotcha.
right? We're not trying to be like, oh, I'm a brown belt, or oh, I know more than you in this, or whatever it is. It's how can we? It boils down to what is the best for our students,
Gotcha.
right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Well, in the best interest of them. Is it you teaching? Is it me teaching? Is it your style of teaching, but me teaching it? Is it my style of teaching, but you teaching it?
Okay.
Right? Constantly just trying to get better. We're not set in our ways of like my way or the higher way
Yeah.
or anything like that. And again, she's been extremely supportive ever since I said, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this." She's been
Yeah.
on board, and
That's cool.
it's honestly it's truly been inspiring and awesome to see because we got married very early, and I'm a little bit older than her, but she was very young, so she moved
Hmm.
away to North Carolina at a very young age
Yeah.
we didn't have that many friends up there. We came back to another spot in Florida where she didn't have many friends. So by starting this, it's now given her, like, for the women's classes, meeting other moms,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And growing a community there. Like, now some of the moms get together and go out places,
That's cool.
and
Yep.
they hang out on the
Yeah.
weekends and all that. So it's just, it's again, it's because of the family environment we started that all
Yeah.
these things are just falling into place. Like, we moved here, we had no community. I started this, and our community grew. Like, it's jujitsu every day now,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
jujitsu every day. And now we've even offered to open our home and do it for there's a church in the area that doesn't meet in a physical location because they don't have a set location yet.
Yeah.
On the off Sundays that they don't have church service, we come here, and the men are in the mat room doing a Bible study, and the women are in the living room
Praise
doing a Bible
God.
study.
That's awesome.
So it's just, and again, all praise to God on this, because like we wanted everything we wanted community for so long.
Yeah.
And now it's just all around jujitsu. We would have never met any of these people if it wasn't for this jujitsu.
Yeah.
So that's why I keep pushing it forward, man, of like just getting out there on social media, like where you found me, and out in the community on Facebook groups, or just around the area where we live, like just inviting people in, and showing them what it can do for them and their lives, and possibly if they have families, right, spouses or children, what it could do for them as well.
Man, that's powerful, man. Been a believer myself, and that's, even started to be a minister for years ago, until God said, you know what, you can get into heaven, but you're not going to lead anybody. I know you're past. No, I'm just joking. But
That's funny,
that's awesome what you guys are doing with your church. That's pretty cool, man. Opening your home for that, and that's just going to build even more and more and more, man. Now, you guys have a goal to have your own location outside of your gym, outside of your garage, or?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So we're looking, hopefully by the end of next year sometime, that we can get at least into a studio around the area.
Yeah.
Obviously we wouldn't want to leave the area because all our people are here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with prices right now and things like that, it is we're looking to make it affordable and make it a nice experience for everybody, right, as we transition over into a studio.
Yeah. So. Yeah. That's cool that you're not going to move out there, because I've seen gyms where they find a better location somewhere else, and they do lose some of their people. But that's your bread and butter in essence. Who you.
And also what I've noticed is a lot of people kind of are digging that it's the garage and home style.
Yeah.
They're liking that it's private, because another thing that I haven't brought up yet was when I first started Grapple Cove, it was only actually private lessons. There was no classes. There was no women's classes. There was nothing like that.
Yeah.
Right. Occasionally me and my wife did couples classes with other couples, right? That's something we offered. And even to this day, we still offer private lessons. That's awesome, right. And I started off with just privates, 1, 2, 3 guys, and then 4. And then my wife started getting a couple girls that wanted it. And then after a while, I was like, all right, like let's start the classes. But a lot of people liked that we were so private, because a lot of times people go to gyms and they get really overwhelmed or intimidated by, the size of the guys in the room, the amount of people just in the room, right?
Yeah.
And no fault to the gym. That's just
absolutely.
That's how it has to operate, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people liked that we were on a very personal level with them and their development in jiu-jitsu, right? That it attracted more and more people. And now obviously we have classes almost every single day. Almost every single day. And but we still offer, because this is all I do. I still offer people to come throughout the day and hey, you want to do a private lesson at 6 a.m? Like, I got a guy, an older gentleman. He works down the street but lives like 30 minutes north, about 30 minutes north. Yeah. And he comes to me at 7 a.m. twice a week for a private lesson.
Man. Right? Man, those early morning guys, man. I commend those guys.
Yeah.
I'm a midday kind of guy.
Early mornings are rough with jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Go to work smelly and sore.
That is true, man. That is true. They make memes about the guys that like to train out early in the morning.
Oh yeah, I made a couple and put them out myself. And I'm like, oh man, but that's a different breed, man. And I see some of the guys early in the morning. They're just like energetic and fired up, and I'm like, how do you do that? I'm old.
What's hard is training the night before, late night before, and then waking up and training early morning the next day.
Oh man, oh my gosh, man, ouch. But you know what? I because before I started my travels, I told you before, I'm doing traveling now, and going to different places, just trying to see what's out there in life, And And I used to train because I still train. Still, my home gym is Lake County Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, one of the best gyms out there. I give them props for everything, man. It's that environment we are just talking about, that friendly environment, that environment where it's run by Carlos and Patty Archula, husband and wife, both black belts, and they have other gyms that branched off from them also, but. Man, you go into the women are rolling with the guys, and the guys are with the women. There's no, excuse my French, there's no dicks in there. It's just guys.
Yep.
Everybody's nice, everybody, but they're beating the crap out of you, but they'll beat you up with a purpose,
Yeah.
and I love that, man. Now,
That's the best vibes right there. Like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Well, you said that's the best vibe. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm saying that's the best right there. It's like you get, you roll hard, but you roll smart and you're not mean. Like you're not, you're not trying to hurt people and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like, people are two opposite sides of the spectrums where it's like it's too soft, there's no rolling, and then it's just pure chaos and injuries.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
You gotta have some happy mediums, right? You gotta roll hard and smart though. That's literally how it is here, right?
Yeah.
I know
That's
for
cool.
my wife, like you said about the woman rolling with men, my wife started in a woman's only class and then she progressed to rolling with other men and she no fear. I mean, a couple months back, I saw her. My wife's about 120 pounds. She was rolling with a guy that was like 260 pounds.
Man,
So,
no fear. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, no fear. So, and at the end of the day, that's really nice for me to see and to have to know that my wife can kind of take care of herself, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then she's setting the example for my daughters. My daughters will come in and watch a class and watch their mom, show no fear and rolling with guys twice your size or 3 times your size. So
yeah,
setting that example.
That's cool, man. But that's true though. Kids watch what you do. I'm the same way with my daughters.
Yeah.
My daughters are much
All
older,
the
but
time.
they can pick up a pistol. They own pistols. They can, drop you from across the room, do the whole thing, martial arts, the whole thing. And it was great. That's great that you have your kids in
That's
that,
awesome.
man. Well, let me ask you this. How do you, or what's your mindset on, as for women? We want women to be able to go out on the street, feel safe. If someone's going to attack them, they want to be able to protect themselves, get on, move on about their day and get home safely, right? So what's your mindset? How do you train? Let's say your wife. With training with her, with not being the excuse my French again, the dickhead guy just pounding them into the ground because you got 100 pounds on them, you can be because physically men are stronger than women. There's some women out there who can, who are stronger than some men, but in general, how do you approach that? How do you approach that with, but you got to be tough on your wife to train her so she can protect herself, but not just keep smashing her and smashing her and smashing her. You know what I mean? It's got to be a happy medium somewhere in there.
So it's all with that. It's all a mentality, right? They're not going to come in like that, right? Most women are not going to come in and be like, all right, grind it out tooth and nails right now, right?
Yeah.
But over time, I've actually noticed my wife or other women that have trained for a while, they get offended if you don't go hard with them.
Yeah, right? Oh, yeah.
Because they're like, wait, what is this? What is this? Are you taking it easy on me?
Yeah, you're taking it too easy.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, man, I got some video and even some of the other guys in here, my wife rolls and it's like she's punch choking people. Like she's like digging her knuckles in there. And I'm like, man, like you beating me up. Right. And again, it's awesome to see. And I'm not going to get mad. She's 120 pounds, right? If you can't handle 120-pound female as a 200-pound male, I mean,
that's
at the end of the day, right? You gotta, right? That's on you. But it's all about gauging it, like you said too. Like obviously, brand new people, you have to like ease them into it, maybe because it can kind of be too much of a shock for them. They could either get hurt or just not want to train at all anymore.
Yeah.
So with women, obviously, you have to hold, introduce them slowly most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Even with men too, I've seen it. Like too much stimulation, too much pressure, too fast can kind of like make them, give them a sour taste towards jiu-jitsu. And once they get the hook though, once you see that look in their eye, they're like, oh yeah, I love this. They keep coming back.
Oh yeah. And it's fun to do that, man. I tell you,
I know for me it was like that too.
Oh yeah, man. But like I said, I've been in martial arts since I was 8 on different types of arts. Kodokan Jiu-Jitsu, Judo. I did some samurai things, with Kendo and all that kind of stuff. And then when I found Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, because I always wanted to do Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, as I got older, as you hear about it and stuff, But hey, a quick claim to fame for me is when I was in Davenport, Iowa. I had just moved out there with my wife was out there at the time, so we just moved out there. And I'm looking for a place to train, Literally, my buddy, we're walking down the street and we see this school, Nick Tarpon School of Karate. So I was like, well, maybe someone to train. By then, I was already had a black belt in Kodokan Jiu Jitsu. So I was like, maybe somebody to train with me. I go in there, and he says, "Oh, we don't have any classes now, but my one of my students just came back from Brazil learning this Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. He said, would you want to train with him?" And I'm like, "I'll train with anybody." I'm like, "Okay." This dude tied me up in so many knots. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And that was, I don't know if you probably, I don't know, his name was Pat Miletich. That was Pat Miletich, man. He's an old brawler. You seen him on some of the UFC stuff back in the day. And I'm like, this is a dumb guy for me to start training with the first guy, man. But, man, it was crazy, man. But I always wanted to learn Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Awesome. And every place, and this is, no hate on all other kind of schools or Brazilian Jiu Jitsu schools out there, but there are some that, there are a lot of dicks in there. When I walked on the mat and trying to find a new school that I want to learn this from, because because you're a black belt in something else, you're not a black belt in this and whatever it is, right? So I would go in there and they found out I was a black belt in something else, and it became a fight. You know what I mean? So you're a black belt in this. Wow, so they start. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing on here on my back. Why are you what you call mother milking me now? I know what they were before. In my age, I'm like, man, I don't need this, man. I don't need this. I can go home and live a happy life and feel okay with a stable back. You know what I mean? But like you're saying, it's that heavy meeting.
That's the gym culture.
Yeah,
that's the gym culture, because like there's some guys, new people that do show up in their gym and they try to like challenge everybody, but then there's also new guys that come in that just need to. I always say this: it's like a being tamed.
Yeah,
like you usually see it with like big new trial guys or white belts, but as a coach or as an instructor, if you see one of your students being a bully, right, like that's not what you want. That's not what you want in your gym. You want people being inviting, right? I'm not saying let new people walk all over you or anything like that, but you got to be inviting, right? Because if not, you just lost them. Yeah, okay, you won the round, you made them tap 100 times in one round, but now they're not coming back. Now they just missed out on training. Right. Absolutely. Whereas if you could put some pressure on them, show them some pressure, show them some how to control someone, but without injuring them or just completely being a bully, right? Again, there is rare occasions where someone does come in and then you do need to set them straight, because you can't allow them just to come in and you can't just let them come in and start hurting people or hurting women and children and so.
Oh yeah,
I know I was used a lot as a blue belt. When I was a blue belt, I was used as a mat enforcer at my school in North Carolina.
Oh wow! Wow! As a blue belt going and stomping on guys.
Yeah. Well, I was a 230-pound blue belt. So.
Well, that'll do it. That'll do it, man. That's awesome. Well, you know what? I have a story for everything. I've been around long enough, but it was like in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, this purple belt, Vic. So we're out there. We're on it's a Friday open mat. Nobody's really there. Just myself, a blue belt, and then this other girl, white belt, and then Vic, and this new guy walks in. And hasn't trained for a while, but he's you can tell he got something to prove. So, and I had an injury. Vic had a bad back, and the girl was just a girl. Not taking away from a woman, but she's a white belt girl, wanted to train. This guy is just like trying to smash everybody, and Vic's just watching the class And it's the funniest thing. Vic was like, "I'm not rolling today." And he kept telling the guy, "Take it easy. Tony's got a bad this today, injured his arm, his back, whatever it was. We're still going at it." And Vic was like, "All right." He gets up. He's like, "All right, I'm going to step in and work out." And so the guy was like, "Yeah, let's go." Man, Vic ran through this dude. All you heard was, tap. That was it was the best day. We're sitting on the sideline just laughing. I got pictures. And it was the best, man. So mat enforcers, they're needed.
Yeah, sometimes, man, you gotta protect your gym, right?
Right.
You can't have just nobody coming in and just start hurting people.
Yeah. But you'll see that sometimes. And I find myself now that I'm traveling a lot, I'll look for gyms to go by and close by. And most of the time it's just, hey, if I see, like, you look at the pictures and all that stuff, all the stuff, and you see all the stuff, and there are no women in the gym, in my mind, that tells me that they pushed out women, that women don't want to come there for whatever reason. If it's a big gym, if it's a small one, I get it. I go in there, I can go in there and train with them, whatever. But when it's a a big gym and there's no women there, that just tells me the mindset. Okay, this is I just for me, just my personal thing, my age, my injuries, whatever it is. I'm not going in there to train. I'll find another place to train. And it's not that I want to work out women,
Yeah.
but it just tells me if there are women there, women are more keen to that stuff and they can feel the safety of a place and
Yeah.
they'll be in a gym. So I'm like, okay, this place is pretty cool then. I don't know if
No,
that's a
yeah,
bad way to
that's
look at it or
100%.
not.
No, no, I mean, that's smart, honestly. And then you're not the only one. I've actually heard other people say similar things like that before. You can tell a lot by a gym if there's, it's a welcoming environment, if there's, women all over the mat, like
Yeah.
training with other men and like, even older, little bit teenagers maybe out there as well.
Yeah.
Because, I've been to some where it's just like, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I was a younger guy and athletic and big, so I can handle it. But I could see how showing up as someone that's on a weight loss journey or
Yeah.
never did any sports growing up or just not very confident, like you're not going to want to show up there again, right?
Right.
They're basically what they're doing is like letting all the new people come be like bait for the sharks that are
Oh
already there,
yeah. Oh yeah.
right?
That's
And
crazy.
that's not fair. I was actually talking to one of my guys the other day about that. I was like, some gyms you go to, like, yeah, they're like, oh, fresh meat. All right, like let's try like this leg lock series that we just learned on YouTube
Yeah. Yeah.
on you for 30 straight minutes, and then you're walking out there with a limp, and then now you have to go to your 9 to 5 job with a limp because your knee's blown
Exactly.
out.
Exactly,
Right?
man. That's
So
crazy, that
yeah,
mindset,
and
man.
as a coach, you like I'd never accept that.
Yeah.
Here at in this place or whenever we get our studio, if there's a bully, it's gonna get dealt with,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
you have to, right? Because like again, you don't want to push people away, but you really don't want people that are bullies in your gym to begin with.
Oh no, not at all. It brings
And
everything
and,
down.
and a lot of these, because one, they're gonna hurt your people.
Yeah. Yep.
And now, okay, you want to look at it from a financial standpoint.
Well, yeah.
Now you're losing people because they're injured, and maybe they don't want to come back because you're allowing people like that to stay.
Yep.
So it's
Exactly.
making you lose business, but really you're letting people get hurt over what? For someone to come in and be a bully?
Somebody's ego.
It's just not acceptable in my eyes, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And you're right,
So
man.
now that I'm in instructor mode, right?
Yeah.
I still resort sometimes back to my mat enforcer days where it's like, hey, you need to calm down. Like, and I'm
Yeah,
going
but
to
you
show you how
have
to
to
calm
though.
down.
The
I'm
instructor
going to hold you
set
in
the
bottom
limit.
side control for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You're not getting up for 5 minutes until you burn some energy out.
Yeah.
We'll tire you out right here for a little bit, right?
Exactly.
I can't have you, what's that WWE move that they like
I'm
drop people
doing
straight
this.
on their head? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I'm not going to have you be doing that in here. Not going to have you do that to Joe who has to go work on Monday morning, 9 to
Right.
5, and has
Exactly,
a family
man.
of 4 to provide for.
And the
Right?
guy's out. He
So
can't go to
I
work.
understand.
But that's a great
How'd you
mindset,
get
though.
hurt? Right? Yeah.
I get spear chucked into the ground, man, by a teenager, man. So
Yeah,
frustrated
like,
guy.
some 22-year-old man just picked me up and put me on my head. Now I can't move my head
Right?
straight anymore.
Right? But think about
It's like
you see more
you,
older. You see so many older people coming onto the mat now, and you have been an instructor. You have to think about that stuff. You have to pay
yep,
attention to some of these guys. 'Cause a lot of guys are not out there to. Some guys aren't even out there to go through the belt ranks. They're just there to get an exercise, like you were saying, maybe lose weight. The
yeah,
belt will come, but they're just out there to, hey, this
yeah,
is a hobby. I come once or twice a week, and I'm just here as a hobby. I don't need to have anything jacked up. That's crazy, man.
yeah. No, and what I like to do is because you're gonna have a mix, like you just said. You're gonna have those old guys that are hobbyists, and you're gonna have those young guys in their early 20s or teenagers that are wanting to roll hard and fast.
Yeah.
What you do is you teach people through situational rolling
Oh yeah,
and
that's a
other
great
and
training.
other and other types of, like, I call them jujitsu games,
Yeah.
right? How to roll hard but roll smart.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, like, if we're grip fighting at full speed, I'm not gonna just slap you in the head with my
Right.
collar
Clubbing
tie.
somebody.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna get my collar, I'm gonna get my collar tie nice and hard, but nice and controlled. I'm gonna grab your lapel if it's ski hard, right? I'm gonna grab
Yeah.
your wrist hard, but I'm not smacking, right?
Yeah.
I'm not punching you in the face.
Yeah.
So teaching people how to roll hard but roll smart is one of the biggest things I do here.
That's awesome.
Because if you're on a weight loss journey and you don't roll at all and you just hear me talk about technique for half an hour, or an hour, like, you're not going to lose any weight doing that.
No,
Like,
not at
so
all.
you want to get those active rounds in
Yeah.
and roll. So we do roll a lot here though in
Yeah.
in the garage. Yeah,
Yeah.
our classes are an hour and a half, and a good solid hour and maybe hour to hour and 10 is live work.
That's a good
Yeah.
class,
Not
man.
not not all regular rounds,
No,
not all
but
regular
just doing
rounds,
things.
right?
Yeah.
But it's a lot of situationals and different things like that because I'm a big believer in learning how to apply things live.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
Yeah,
good stuff.
yeah.
That's what they do at Lake
So,
County Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And one thing I would tell you, that's the difference in being around so many different arts through the years. What I find so different about Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and Judo also, Judo had that same mindset too,
yeah.
is a lot of arts have katas and you're not really doing any live pressure testing your technique. But in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, you're testing your technique every day. You know, when you go and train, because you're actually trying to push a guy off you or roll a guy, sweep a guy, whatever it is, you're fighting against someone that push pull all day long. So it's not just a kata
That's important.
moving through, you know.
Well, that's super important. You bring up a great point, and I just one of the things I talk to my students about. It's like, yeah, okay, everybody's gonna learn an armbar, everybody's gonna learn a triangle, everybody's gonna learn some of these things, right? But realistically, if you're a 120-pound dude,
Yeah.
are you gonna armbar the 300-pound corn-fed dude that's bench presses 400 pounds? Probably
No.
not, right? But you know what you can do with him? You could probably straight ankle lock him,
Yeah.
or heel hook him. That's the equalizer right there.
Okay.
Right? You could, if you get to his back fast enough, you could choke him, right? So
Yeah.
by doing this live work, like you're saying, it's allowing people to figure out what works for them,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? In a situation, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're a smaller guy, you're an older, slower guy, right?
Right.
Now you need to control the pace, right?
Ah.
As an older gentleman, I have some guys that come here that are upwards of 50 years old
Yeah.
that they need to slow it down,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So if I can control you, now you can't use your speed
Mm-hmm.
or your quickness on me because I'm controlling you properly. Now I'm slowing it down to what my body needs,
There you
right?
go.
What my age needs, with my athleticism, right? So
Yeah.
that's what that live work allows, right? Again, because everybody can learn all the same cool techniques, but different application of the techniques or different body types, right? If you don't have flexible hips,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? How are you gonna start? How are you gonna, it's gonna be a little bit difficult for you to do some type of guards,
Right. Right. Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
so. Like rubber guard. Like I have terrible flexibility because of all the sports and the Marine Corps and all that stuff, the wear and tear on my body. I'm not playing rubber guard.
Yeah. I'm with
Right?
you,
I'm not
man.
doing that.
Yeah. I'm
Right?
with you. I'm with you.
So, if you're a heavier set dude, are you going to be really inverting at the beginning? Probably not.
Right.
Right? So
I think that's funny, but I see
it's
that.
just I mean, no, it's truly, it's actually scary when you see like a really big guy that inverts really well. It's like, yeah, you're not supposed to be doing that, man.
Yeah, slow this down. You're making me look bad, dude. I can't even bend over right. I know.
So,
It was funny. We were in class one day and I was rolling with a guy, and I'm not inverting for jack. I'm not doing anything. And I think I didn't say rubber guard. I said something else, but I was goofing around. I was in a position. I forgot what I was doing, but I yelled out. Let's say it was rubber guard. I forgot what I did, but I said rubber guard time. And you just heard the laughter all over him. All right, you don't have to worry. Tony ain't rubber guard nobody. Whatever it was. I just thought it was funny to see if the guy was going to go for it. No, didn't. I ain't doing jack, man. Now, do you have? When did you develop your game? Your fighting style. You know what I mean? Was that early on, or did you once you became a purple belt? As a purple belt, you know what you're really going to do.
So really towards the end of being a blue belt is when I started to realize, like really hone in on a few things for me. Obviously now as an instructor, I open up my knowledge and I keep studying and learning so that I'm able to give other people, other body types, other, athletic types, different options to use.
Yeah.
But for me, like if I'm rolling, like, competing or rolling hard with another brown belt, same level, same size, whatever it is, same skill level, I really started developing that game
Okay.
as later blue belt, right?
Gotcha.
And then obviously into purple belt, I kind of started noticing what my game was.
Gotcha.
And then now I explore a lot. I do different things to learn more. But yeah, I would say towards the end of being a blue belt is when I started really coming in to my game.
Gotcha, man. That's pretty cool, man. So when you're training, how do you train now? Because you're still competing, am I right or no?
No, not as of now.
Not right
No,
now.
not as of now.
Well, that still makes sense.
In the near future, though.
Gotcha. Now, how do you get your chance to train hard? Regardless if you compete or not, how do you get a chance to train hard? Being an instructor there, trying to build this gym. When do you set your time to train hard? If you know what I mean by training hard, comp training kind of thing or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So occasionally, once or twice a week, I'll have there's a couple other gyms around here that they'll have brown belts or black belts that'll come and we'll just hang out and roll,
Oh, good
talk
stuff.
about some like, high level techniques or something
Yeah.
like that. Um, and that's usually the time where it's like, okay, I don't have to roll as an instructor. I can take my instructor hat off,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And actually roll, right? So that's cross training, right?
Yeah.
Essentially cross training with other people,
Yeah.
higher belts in other gyms, is important for that,
Yeah.
right? If you're not able to compete or something at the time, cross training is pretty important, for me at least, and being able to a little bit of test yourself and see how you're stacking up against your peers, quote
Yeah.
unquote. Um, and then sometimes with my students, I'll especially like the big ones, I'll show them some intensity and because I don't want to make it just easier for them. I want them to,
Oh yeah.
you know, go through that grind of getting, a little bit of smashed here and then working and then smash and then working, right?
Yeah.
Because that's
Yeah.
kind of how my black belt um trained with me and it made me better,
Gotcha.
a better grappler.
Yeah.
So
Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense a lot, man. So when you're training with these guys, let's say for instance you're training with some of these bigger guys, do you start from, because of course you're being an instructor, do you always put yourself in a bad position? Start from there, just like, all right, I'm in a bad spot. Let's fight from here.
Yes and no. If I want to like test myself, I will, but I don't always want. I want because it's hard as for like newer people is to get people in bad positions,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the bad position is getting into the bad position,
Okay. Gotcha.
right?
Gotcha.
So I make them work because I mean there's some guys out there, man, that have amazing guards,
Yeah.
and a lot of new people struggle with passing the guard, especially with someone that has a really good guard retention.
Yeah.
So you could see them getting frustrated, getting tired, having to work, right?
Oh yeah.
So working around that, I'll make them pass it or I'll make them retain it, right? That's just an example I'll use,
Yeah.
right? And then like takedowns.
Okay.
Takedowns is another thing, right? Smartly. When you start doing takedowns, you have to go about it in a smart way,
Very
obviously,
smart,
because
man. Yeah.
you can get real hurt and that stuff. So usually with takedowns, I'll put a little bit more resistance on to one, preserve myself, and
Gotcha.
two, not let it get chaotic where people are just swinging everywhere and
Yeah.
knees are buckling and all this other stuff. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I'll put them. Sometimes I'll let them start in a good position as well, like you're saying. Start on mount or start on uh top side control, right?
Okay.
And working in these, and that's where I start using those situationals a lot of flipping top and bottom
Oh,
in the
okay. Yeah.
position,
Yeah.
getting them used to that grind
Yeah.
of working out of that position or holding the position.
Gotcha.
Um,
Gotcha.
so that's a little bit of my philosophy around the training and the intensity of it in the garage.
Okay. Not bad, man. Now I do want to talk more, go back into, your husband and wife dynamic, because I think that's so important now, especially with gyms. You're starting to see gyms pop up almost everywhere now. I'm starting to see a lot of that in my drive, traveling everywhere. There's different gyms, and I am seeing a lot of
Yep.
couples doing gyms, and I think that's amazing. That's really cool. Now, you said before that your wife supported you in everything. Now, did she get her? She got her
Yep.
purple belt from your original black belt, correct? Or how would that work? Okay.
Yeah. I didn't promote her
Well, of course, yeah,
to purple belt.
yeah, because you're
Yeah, yeah.
brown, right? Yeah, gotcha,
So yeah, I'm
gotcha.
a brown.
Okay,
Yeah. So I'm able to promote up to purple, but I did not her.
gotcha. Any reason why you didn't want to
I did
do
not
that, or
promote
you
her.
guys? She was already there before you guys decided to. She was already a purple belt when you guys decided to open your place.
It was kind of the same time.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah. We got promoted at the same time.
yeah. Now, how do you keep? I think I touched on this before. You touched on this before. How do you keep? Because I see, like I've said, with Carlos and Patty, those are the ones at Lake County Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. They have a great symbiotic relationship working together at that gym. They're always in a good mood. They're always happy go lucky. They're always doing their thing. They're always doing this. How do you keep marriage problems, if there are any, off the mat, where you're still nice to each other on the mat, you know, whatever, without letting that drag onto the mat, where you know, I don't want to train with her today, or she don't want to train me today, or whatever it is.
Again, it's like kind of you said, you have, if there is problems outside of the mat, you have to keep it off, because what is the ultimate goal, right? The goal is to grow Grapple Cove,
Yeah.
and look out for the benefit of our students, whether that be kids or adults.
Okay.
Right? So being mature enough to set aside our issues and either address them before we start training or later that night after training's done.
Yeah.
Right? But not bringing it onto the mat, because if we do bring it onto the mat, at the end of the day, who's affected? I mean, yeah, me and her, but at the end of the day, it's everybody else, the kid students, our adult students, right? And that's not fair to them. They're trusting us to guide them and teach them in jiu-jitsu. And if we bring our problems onto the mat, it's not okay, and it's not good for their development. So I also wanted to say that, you know, if you're getting into this, right, if there's like a piece of advice I could offer, if you know, you're a guy and you know you're about to open up your own gym and your wife trains, or maybe not yet, don't make it forced, right? So with my two children, right, my two daughters, sorry, and my wife, I never wanted it to be forced. I never said, hey, you're gonna do this for me, you're gonna be a part of this, you need to do this for me, you need to do social media, website, you need to train these people, this, whatever it was, right? I never forced it. I wanted them to want to.
That's cool.
And now, like we talked about earlier in the episode, they loved it. They thrive. My daughter helps my wife in the toddlers class, and then she participates in class, and then my wife teaches children, and then the women's only classes, right? So it's without forcing it, right? It actually became a thing where it was enjoyable. So it's kind of like, sounds like the black belts at your gym, where it's you know, they're just enjoying the journey together. Right? There's going to be ups and downs, but keeping it nothing forced.
That's awesome.
Right? Man. No, like I wanted to start this, so there was no telling my wife, "Oh, you're going to teach this class at this time because I'm telling you to." Like that's not how it goes. I wanted to start the business. Now if she wants to, 100%, that's awesome. Right? So that was just a little piece of advice. Don't
make it
forced.
Great advice, man.
Right? And it'll be good. So it's just like, you know, it's just like people say, never force a child to do what you did as a kid. Like if you were a awesome football player and then you force your son to play football, he's probably not going to want to play football. He's going to resist, right? So and that just causes turmoil, right? You want people to do things. That's awesome. I love seeing, my daughters are 3 and 5, like I said before. And they want to learn. Like I even when I'm studying jiu-jitsu on the TV or something, they'll come and watch it. And my daughters, again, 3 and 5, they were doing De La Hiva the other day at 3 and 5 years old.
Gosh, so that's awesome, man.
It's pretty cool seeing that, right? It's awesome seeing my daughter. You know, she the other day she got out of half guard. My 5-year-old, she took someone's back from half guard and got her seatbelt in and hooks in. And then she looked at me and smiled, and she looked for me like around the room, like,
where is
well, yeah, look, I did it. Like I did it. And there's no greater feeling than that, right? You know, as a coach, as an instructor and a dad. Right? There's no greater feeling than that. Seeing your kid enjoying it. Like having actually enjoyment out of it. So and not forcing them. Like my 3-year-old wanted to a little bit participate in the bigger kids class, which is really for 5 and up. But she knows things. But you could tell it kind of intimidating and stuff like that. So I didn't force her to do it. Even though her skill level she could. I don't force her to do it. She's only 3.
Oh man.
Right. So when you don't make it forced for them, if you're doing it as a family, like you said, the husband and wife, right, or your children, if you have older children that could help you coach or whatever it is, when you don't make it forced, they kind of want to. They see that you're enjoying it and they want to be supportive.
Man, I love your mindset, man. That is good stuff, man. Your place is going to grow, because I think just hearing the stuff you're talking about, we need more of that out there. We really do when it comes to the arts, man. It's got to be family. It's got to be family, man. That's good stuff, man. Well, on a different note of that, let's talk about just your opinion on where Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is now and where it's going, because Do you think it has watered down some over the years? Because everything's competition, but it was designed just like any martial arts, designed for self defense. In the beginning, everything's for self defense,
Yeah.
right? And yes, there's a sports aspect to
Hmm.
it. Do you think Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is focusing too much on the sports aspect and not the self defense aspect, or has it gotten better, gotten water? What's your opinion on it?
Oh man, this is a hot take
Yeah, it
right
is.
now on social media.
It sure
You,
is.
you throwing me under the bus.
I'm not sitting under there with you.
No, no, no. No, in all honesty, I think making grappling realistic, right, is the goal. But like I talked about live training,
Yeah.
because I've seen places they do more self-defense, but everything's a step-by-step, no resistance.
Mm,
So how are you going to learn how to fight someone or
yeah.
control someone if there's no resistance?
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, that's just giving someone a false sense of security.
That's true.
And honestly, I don't like it. I'm not a huge fan of that.
Yeah.
But then sport jujitsu, I believe is good too, but too much sport jujitsu for the actual like self-defense fighting portion
Yeah.
is not good. What happens when you see someone pull guard in the UFC? If you ever see it.
Yeah. Right.
Right?
Right.
Like they kind of, they sit on their butt, they get their face kicked in.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
and it's like, and then a lot of times people say, oh, self-defense this or realistic this, and even MMA, sport MMA is not the most realistic version.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the most realistic version? It's you have weapons
Yeah.
involved.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's also learning that and punches and I mean MMA has punches, but
Yeah.
this is more for jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
schools. Punches being involved because I've done MMA. I came into martial arts through MMA,
Yeah.
and I've seen black belts in Brazilian jiu-jitsu turn into white belts the minute they get
Punched in the
punched.
face, man. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that's just it's just unacceptable
Yeah.
in my opinion,
Yeah.
to have that. You got to be, I'm not going to say you're going to be like Muhammad Ali, the most efficient striker out
Yeah.
there or anything like that, but as a black belt in jiu-jitsu, you should be able to hold your own on your feet and get the fight to the ground if you need to.
There you go. I like that. I like that. You're absolutely right.
That's kind of my viewpoint on it. Again, like we talked about earlier, there has to be a happy medium. It can't just be, oh, this is what we're gonna practice self-defense,
Yeah.
but no resistance, no live training, nothing,
Right.
just step by step. And then you can't just be like, okay, I'm gonna pull guard into spider lasso guard. Like, as fun as spider lasso is, I'm sorry, you pull guard and try to do lasso and spider on a crackhead in the alley at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna work.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I'm sorry for that example,
That's a
but
good example, though.
it's just not gonna work, right?
Yeah.
What would work though is grabbing someone with double unders, taking them to the ground, holding them in side control, or
Yeah.
even mount with the arms up above their head, right, until help comes.
Yeah.
Or you can subdue the attacker, right? So that's something that's realistic, right?
Yeah.
A head and arm choke, that's realistic,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't matter how big you are or the adrenaline. If you don't have blood supply to your brain, you're gonna go out.
In a heartbeat. Yeah. Yeah.
But if you try to heel hook someone on the street, yeah, you might blow their knee out. But me personally, I've seen grown men finish football games with torn ACLs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And adrenaline flowing on a
So,
street fight, you're trying to survive. You don't feel that till later,
yeah,
man. Yeah.
it, you know, there's an example of this in when it comes to shooting in the Marine Corps, and I mean probably other branches and police department stuff. Um, it's called a failure to stop drill.
Hmm.
Right? I'm not sure if you know what that is. I
No,
think you said you're an avid shooter,
I'm
right?
an avid
Well,
shooter. Yeah.
you put one in the chest, and then I mean two to the chest,
Mhm.
and either one in the head or one in the pelvic region.
Yep.
Because if you hit the pelvic region, the body mechanically can't keep walking.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right? Because if you hit them in the arm, the adrenaline is still going, right?
Right.
So it's the same thing with jiu-jitsu. If you pop someone's ankle in a street fight, they're probably not going to stop right away.
Absolutely.
They're probably going to keep going,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
sorry, I kind of ran off on a
No,
tangent
but I
on that
like,
one.
but
I'm
that's
kind of I'm kind of passionate about it because I feel like a lot of people they sit there and they say, "Oh, we're empowering women and children and men in jiu-jitsu," but really you're just giving them unrealistic and false sense of securities.
absolutely. I love that. No, roll on, man, because I tell you what, this is the real part of martial arts. The mindset, what we're trying to train for. Yes, great to be in a tournament, but that guy on the street, what are you going to do? You know, I was
Yeah.
watching it.
And another thing too. Oh, sorry,
No,
my
no,
bad.
no.
No,
Go
no, no.
ahead,
Go,
brother.
go.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. This is
Oh,
you.
what I was saying is, in an actual fight, you're gonna probably eat some punches.
Yeah.
So being prepared for that, and this goes in the example of what I'm saying of that no resistance self-defense training.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay, you're gonna dodge my punch, but that's realistically, that's probably not gonna happen. You're gonna
Exactly.
eat the punch, and then you're able to close the distance, and then you're able to use your wrestling or jujitsu.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So
But most guys haven't really been a fight out there. You know what I mean? A real street fight. Because I love asking that
yeah,
question. I would ask, back in the day, ask my students, how many of you guys been into, a real fight? And you'd be surprised that out of all these grown men, how many hands didn't go up. They think most people think it's going to happen just like in class, but a street fight is chaotic. I was born and raised
oh
South
yeah,
Side
man.
Chicago. They're chaotic, man. It's just
Oh,
chaos, brother. It ain't fun.
your heart is pumping so fast. I
Exactly.
always tell people you gotta last and hold on for the first like 30 seconds to a minute,
Yep.
or
Yep.
maybe even 2 minutes, and then after that, your training can start to really show.
Oh yeah, because
But you gotta withstand that first
yeah,
rush.
that's that. I was just saying that first
Gotta withstand
adrenaline
that
rush.
first rush.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, you're absolutely right, man. And it goes the same with
So
shooting. Like you said, you're an avid shooter also. You understand guns and what to do with them and stuff. And I go to take guys to ranges and stuff. And I like open ranges where it's not lanes. I like where it's open where you can
yeah,
set it up any kind of way you want. And it's surprising these guys are great shots. And one instructor told me it was probably the best thing he ever said to me. About shooting, understanding shooting that you may be the best person in this class, hitting it right down the center. You're going down like everything right down the center, dropping everything, fast everything. You can have 100% accuracy, but when you're on the street and the chaos hits, you're going to drop down way down to maybe 20%, 30%. Adrenaline. Somebody's
yep,
shooting back at you, whatever it is. Your target's going to be off. Same
yeah,
thing as a fight. Most guys don't train to get punched in the face, but it's going to have, like you were saying earlier, you're
yep,
going to get hit in the face, and what do you do after that?
yep.
Man, that's good
Exactly.
stuff, man.
Right. And that's why it's big. I'm a big believer in law enforcement getting involved in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Um, there's a good organization out there called Adopt a Cop.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I reached out to them, but I wasn't able to get, the endorsement or anything because they need to have a physical address out there,
yeah,
like in public.
yeah.
And
You're like, nope.
unfortunately, still in the garage. So
Yeah,
they told me though, whenever I do end up getting a physical location to, start the process again with them because, you know, and if for a cop, if they're able to control the situation,
yeah.
they don't have to resort to their lethal option,
Right,
right?
right,
Because now I can control you,
right.
right? There's some times where the shooting is going to have to be justified and
Yeah,
things are going to have to be used, but I'm a big believer in allowing, you know, or requiring law enforcement to train as well up to a certain point at least
they should.
because
They should.
um, it's important.
When their life's on the
So
line, I think they should.
literally life saving.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And they should train everything
Yeah.
from,
For
I
life.
think they should be the best trained out there. But most of these guys, even when it comes to
Yeah.
shooting, I go to places with some guys and some of these officers, because they don't train as hard as, the civilian does out there with training. They have certain requirements to qualify I don't know how often it is. I have two nephews that are police officers in Chicago. And they tell me that the requirement for shooting, most police officers can't even shoot well. You know what I mean? They just do the basic
Yep.
minimum. And I'm thinking, dude, why wouldn't you train all the time? Your life's on the line. You're the front line, man.
Yep.
That's crazy,
Yep.
man.
It's and I've actually met many cops that actually train jujitsu and train shooting like you do on their own time because they kind of came to that realization that their life's on the line,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
um
Because they want to go home too.
and I want to clarify, like I'm saying all this about live training and
Yeah.
getting punched in the face, but that doesn't mean jujitsu when you go to a school it always has to be like that. I'm
Oh
not
no, I
saying
get what
that
you're
at all.
saying.
Like
Yeah,
you're
and I'm,
not
yeah,
we're not trying to be CTE central here. Like we're not just hey everybody line up and take a
yeah,
shot to the gut, but you have to at least expose yourself if you're
yeah,
able-bodied and able-minded. Expose yourself a little bit, and you should want to, right? To
yeah.
really, test yourself and see, hey, like if something did go south, I would be able to at least, uh, handle the situation,
Right,
right?
right, right.
And that's my biggest thing, right? Because again, I could show you all the cool things and show you what to do and talk to you like this and all that. But if you don't train it live, there's no way you're going to do it live in a situation like you talked about, where that adrenaline is pumping like crazy and your efficiency goes down.
Yeah. Drastically. But no, everyone understands what you're saying. People are smart enough to realize that, every gym's not going to, well, you're not telling everyone to go to the gym. Come over here. We're going to beat the crap out of you.
No,
We're going to test you.
By all means, no.
No, but
At the end of the day, what I have it here is fun.
Yeah. Well, you can tell with that.
You need to have fun.
Yeah.
Why are you gonna be doing something or paying for something that you're not enjoying?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, because even if you sign up to try to be an MMA fighter, like, yes, it's brutal. The training's brutal, but you still signed up for it because you thought it was fun and you want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's not like you're becoming an MMA fighter to make billions of dollars. You might as well go invest or go start a business or something else to make that much money. Because I'm sorry, it's just in MMA or jiu-jitsu, being a pro jiu-jitsu competitor, you're not gonna get that money. So because you're ultimately doing it to enjoy it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So, and I think that I see from being out there, I see that mindset is coming out more, that everyone's trying to just enjoy it. Because I don't want to call it down it's just a hobby. But it is. It's a fun hobby. You go and you train, you get in better shape, you learn how to defend yourself, you go home and play golf or whatever. You do other things. It's another form of hobby. And I think it's cool. People should do that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that mindset's there.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
That's good stuff, man. Well, let me ask you another question. I know you got to get out of here, but I do want to ask you another question, too, that I like to ask guys. When it comes to jiu-jitsu, what is your feeling on strength training? And I ask that because, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, when it was first, I won't say first, but when it came out and people were talking about it, it was the little guy being able to beat the bigger guy, right? But if you're not strong, do you train strength training? Do you encourage everyone to train to get stronger?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, gotcha.
100%. For a couple of reasons. I mean, there's probably a lot more reasons, but injury prevention, it is proven to actually help you get injured less.
Yeah.
And I'm a big believer in strength is never a bad thing to have.
Right.
I mean, it's just not.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, right? While you do want to be technical, because if you run into someone that's stronger than you or the same strength, you want to be technical. But if you're super strong, use it. I tell my guys, for some reason, I attract really big guys that come train here.
Yeah.
Except for like a couple of them. And I tell them, use your strength, but learn how to hone it, because when they use their strength against a smaller guy, they could beat him, they could win. But then they try to use their strength on someone that's almost just as strong, but more advanced than they are. Now their strength starts to coming down as more equals, right? If not lower level, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why. But being strong is never a weakness. It's the best. It's one of the best things to have for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm a big believer in strength training, but not overdoing it, because you could hurt yourself. I've been there, not being smart and overdoing it in the weight room and then on the mats is just a recipe for disaster. So going about it in a well-calculated manner could definitely help out. But yes, I'm a big believer in strength training for jiu-jitsu. And I feel like jiu-jitsu is one of the last sports to kind of adopt that. People are still saying like, oh, you don't need to lift. You don't need to lift. But I mean, all other sports do. I mean, I played college football, and it's literally crazy the amount of weight we added on, or strength we added on over just one summer because of the intensity of our lifts.
Yeah.
You see any of these Olympic athletes, they're lifting.
Gotcha.
Wrestlers lift.
Wrestlers are monsters, man.
So, so these Olympic wrestlers, they lift.
Yeah.
So, I've never been a big fan of people saying, "Oh, like, I know you don't need to lift." Like, no, you should lift.
You should lift.
If you can, you should.
I like that.
And if you can't, you should try to find you should try to find the time to lift if you don't lift already.
That's smart. That's cool, man. Yeah, same mindset. I believe in getting stronger and trying, especially when you get older, you lose your muscle strength, so you want to get stronger. Speaking from that.
I mean, even outside of jiu-jitsu, health-wise, it's amazing, the strength training.
Yeah.
So, as you age, it helps you.
Yeah.
And it helps you be more independent as you age, and it helps you maintain muscle mass, and I think they say even bone density.
Yep. Yep.
So I'm a big believer in strength training.
That's awesome, man. Man, I'm telling you, this has been fun, man. I normally don't talk this much on the podcast, but just your conversation. I like to listen, but man, this has been good stuff, man. But hey, before we get you out of here, man, tell everyone how they can find you, man. All your stats, where you are, all your specs, all the stuff.
So we're in West Melbourne, Florida. Again, like I said, the Space Coast. Instagram is Grapple Cove, at Grapple Cove. You can also go to grapplecove.com. Our information is on there as well. And yeah, that's really where I'm active on, is Instagram.
Okay.
Kind of where you found me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Man,
So
awesome,
I
man.
appreciate you having me on, man.
No, I appreciate you taking the time, man. I know you're busy over there. You have a certain amount of time you could do stuff because you're out there rocking, man. Appreciate all the stuff. Thanks for putting a lot of fun on my face today, enjoying their conversation, man. I love it, man. But brother, we're gonna get back. We're gonna do some more, guy. We're gonna do this again. I really want to have you on again. We can talk about
Oh
when you
yeah,
get your
for
big
sure.
place, and if I'm out. How far is Melbourne from Key West?
Oof. Key West, it's about 8 hours.
Oh, okay. Because I like to go to Key West every now and then. So
I
all right.
think I think 6 to 8 hours, because man, even from Miami, Key West
Yeah.
is 4 hours.
Oh, yeah. So, well, I guess I won't be stopped. Well,
Yeah.
if I'm in your area, I definitely step in there, go peek around your garage,
yeah,
and let
man.
you guys choke me out. You know.
Yeah. We're about 45, 50 minutes east of Orlando.
Okay. Nice, man. Nice, brother.
Yeah.
But hey, man, I appreciate you so much, Daniel. I'm telling you, man, you're the man, you're the myth, the living legend himself. I appreciate you, brother. So with that, you take care of yourself.
Appreciate you having me here, man.
Hey, you're more than welcome. Thanks for coming on. We'll talk soon, brother.
All right.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, man.